Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Heart on Fire by Jonathan Clay. And it starts out with some cool arpeggios around some chords actually that kind of becomes part of our verse. And we start on a C major chord. And when we play C major, first finger is going to go to the B string on the first fret, second finger on the D string on the second fret, and third finger on the A string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the C major, we're going to be going to an A minor chord. And all you really have to do is kind of take the third finger from the A string third and go to the G string second fret. And that sounds an A minor chord. It sounds really, really sad. And then from the A minor, we're going to be going to an E minor chord. So then we kind of leave the second finger where it is and kind of put the first finger on the A string second fret, kind of lifting off the third finger. And that sounds something called E minor. It sounds really sad. And then from the E minor, we're going to be going to a G major chord. When you play G major, first finger is going to stay on the A string second. We're going to move the second finger to the low E string third, and third finger to the high E string on the third. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like a G major chord. And then we almost start that over again. We go back to C, A minor, E minor, G. But then we go to a D minor chord. When we play D minor, first finger is going to go to the high E on the first fret, second finger on the G string on the second fret, the third finger on the B string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, the D, G, B, and E, kind of skinny four strings, that sounds a D minor chord. That sounds really, really sad. And then from the D minor, we're going to be going back to G major. You might want to think about using a slightly different version of G major. If you take the first finger and go to the A string on the second fret, second finger on the low E string on the third, and leave the third finger on the B string on the third fret, and take the pinky and go to the high E string on the third. That's another way you can play G major. And then the cool thing about that is you wouldn't have to move the third finger, so it would kind of be a guide finger between the D minor and the G at the very end. And what it really kind of sounds like is Jonathan's doing is kind of taking the C major and then kind of playing the A string on the third fret and then kind of doing the chord. And that's kind of like almost like a little arpeggio. And I'm doing that with hybrid picking, so I'm using my pick for my bass and then kind of using my fingers to kind of play the other strings. And then when we go to the A minor, you can do that same thing with an open A string. On the E minor, you can do the low E string. And then we can, on the G, you can do the low E string, kind of for your voicing. And you can even use the other G voicing on that. It might sound a little more like a recording. So you got kind of C with a kind of a bass, chord, chord, A minor with a bass, chord, chord, E minor with a bass, chord, chord, G with a bass, chord, chord, C with a bass, chord, chord, A minor with an A bass, chord, chord, E minor with low E bass, chord, chord, G with low E bass, chord, chord, and then we go to the D minor with kind of that bass chord, chord using the D string for our bass, and then we go to the G chord with kind of the low E for the bass. So it's all about that bass chord, like through that intro part. And then the very end of that, we kind of build up a lot of energy on a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this, and we'll talk about some other ones to match other parts of the tune, is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you kind of took the G and just tried that a lot, you have down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, up. You can use that strum pattern to kind of build up a lot of energy and go into our chorus. And our chorus, we start on C major, and then we go to A minor, but then we go to F major. And the way you play F major, first finger is going to go across the entire first fret. We'll talk about an easier way to play this in a moment. But then second finger is going to go to the G string on the second fret, third finger is going to go to the A string on the third fret, and the pinky is going to go to the D string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like F major bar chord, and it sounds really happy. Now a good substitute for that, though, is something called F major 7. When we play F major 7, first finger is going to go to the B string on the first fret, second finger on the G string on the second fret, and third finger on the D string on the third fret. So it looks a lot like C, but you're kind of one string off of 2 and 3. And if you strum the top 4 strings, that sounds like F major 7. And then from the F, we're going to be going to a G major chord. And then we go back to C major, and then an A minor, and then we go to E minor, and then a G major. And at the end, we kind of end with 2 D minors. And then we go back to G major, and another G major. So we tried that strum pattern with our verse. We'd have C with a down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, up, down, F, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, up. Now from there we we'd be going back into our verse. Now, one other thing I like to add to a song like this, though, is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you can throw in a bass for the chord. So on the C, you could have kind of an A bass and then down, up, down, up. So C with an A bass, down, up, down. On the A minor, you'd have the A string for your bass. A bass, down, up, down. If you're doing the bar F, you have the low E string for your bass. Low E bass, down, up, down. If you're doing the F major 7, you have the D for your bass. And on the G chord, we have the low E string for the bass. And on your E minor, you'd have the low E string for the bass. So low E bass, down, up, down, up, low E bass, down, up, down. And on the D minor, you'd have the D string for your bass on the D minor. So we try that next verse with the bass notes. We'd have C with an A bass, down, up, down, B minor with an A bass, down, up, down, B minor with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, B minor with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, D minor with the D bass, down, down, D minor with the D, or G with low E bass, down, down, D minor with the D bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down. And then if we tried our next chorus with that, with the bass pattern, we'd have C with an A bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, F with the bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, D minor with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, D minor with the D bass, down, down, D minor with the D bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down. And on that second chorus, there's kind of a tag where you go back to that D minor twice. D minor with the D bass, down, down, and then back to the G chord. And then the G with the bass, down, down, and then from there we'd be going into our bridge part. And our bridge, we start on the A minor chord, and then we go to a G major chord, but then we go to a D major chord. And actually there's a cool little bass thing here too, but the way we play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the high E string on the 2nd fret, third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, and if you kind of strum just the D, G, B, and E, that sounds a D major chord. Now through that part though, it can sound really cool to kind of go with something called D/F sharp, however. And what that means is that the D major chord with an F sharp in the bass. So if you took the first finger and went to the low E string on the 2nd fret, that's an F sharp note, and then second finger on the G string 2nd, third finger on the high E 2nd, pinky on the B string 3rd, would be one way to kind of have that happen. So you have the D chord but with your F sharp in the bass, or low E on the 2nd fret. Now another way you could kind of finger that is do the low E string with the thumb, and then kind of hold on to that D chord that we're kind of using. Normally on the D chord, like the D minor chord, you'd be using the D string for the bass. But it's kind of a cool little bass maneuver through that part. So if we tried our down, down, up, through that, we'd have A minor with the down, down, up, down, G with the down, 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 D with the down, 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 F with the down, 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 A minor with the down, 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 G with the down, 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 D with the down, 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 F with the down, 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 D minor with the D, down, down, D minor with the down, down, G with the down, down, G with the down, kill it. Now through that part though, there's almost like a change of feel, and it almost really feels like kind of a long down and then a down, down, up through that part. It's a little bit different kind of strum pattern. But if we tried it that way, you'd have A minor with the down, 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 G with the down, 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 D with the down, 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 F with the down, 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 G with the down, 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 D with the down, 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 F with the down, 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 D minor down. But then on the D minor you go back. So D minor down, down, up, down, D minor down, 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 G down, 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 B, G. Or we could try adding bass notes to that. And we could do that with just the down, down, up, and have A minor with the bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, D/F sharp with low E bass, down, down, F with low E bass, down, down, A minor with the A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, D/F sharp, down, down, F with the bass, down, down, and then D minor with the D bass, down, down, D minor with the D bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, big G. And then we kind of pick it back up on the C chord at the very end of that, actually. C, and then we do kind of an F, and then a G, and actually that part's almost like down. So that's C, F, G. Kind of set us up for our next chorus. It's almost like kind of like a little bridge tag to kind of set us up. But if we tried that with the down, 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 up, we could add basses to that too. So you could kind of work the bridge as kind of an A minor with a bass. Down, down, G with the bass. Down, down, B slash F sharp. Down, down, up, F with the bass. Down, 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 A bass. Down, down, G with the bass. Down, down, B slash F sharp. Down, down, up with the bass. Down, down, and then kind of switch over to the bass. Down, up, for the D minor. Down, up, down, D minor, D bass. Down, up, down, G with the bass. Down, up, down, big G. Kind of pick it back up on that C, C, F, G. And then from there we'd be going into our chorus part. So we tried that with our bass down, up, down, up. We kind of end up with that D minor, G, G tag at the end. So we got C with an A bass, down, up, down, rather than A bass, down, up, down, up, F with the bass, down, down, G with the A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, rather than A bass, down, down, D minor with the A bass, down, down, G with the A bass, down, down, D minor with the E bass, down, down, D minor with the E bass, down, down, G with the E bass, down, down, G with the E bass, down, down, D minor with the E bass, down, down, D minor with the E bass, down, down, G with the E bass, down, down, G with the E bass, down, down, and then from there we'd be going into our outro part, and our outro just alternates between the C major and the F major. So we try that with our down, down, up, down, up. You have C down, down, up, down, up, F, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, F, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, F, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, F, down, 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 up. Or you could add basses to that and have C with a bass, down, down, F with a bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, F with a bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, F with the bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, F with the bass, down, down, and a big C at the very, very end. Now there's some cool little lead parts through that last outro too, if you want to kind of try some of these. You can start second fret on the G, and then open G, and then third on the D, and then second on the D, open D, and then third on the A, and then open D, and then play open D and kind of do a hammer on the second fret. So I'm kind of playing the open string and let my finger go down to kind of carry the sound. And then open G and then second fret on the D. So 203, 203, 202. And then from there we kind of go to the high E string open. And then third fret on the B, first fret on the B, third fret on the B, open B. And then second fret on the G string, and then open G, second fret on the G, open G, second fret on the G, and then first fret on the B string. And then we do a little hammer on the G string from the open to second fret. So I'm kind of playing the open and put my finger down to carry the sound. And then going back to first fret on the B. So you got 0, 3, 1, 3, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 0, 2, 1, 0, 2, 1. So we kind of play around with those licks too. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Heart on Fire by Jonathan Clay. So good luck!